Hello and welcome back to Pepp Talks. Today, I want to tell you about a day a couple of weeks back where I did basically nothing and somehow got more done than I have in ages. Weird, right? But stick with me because I think this one's going to resonate for lots of you or with lots of you. So, the other week, I had one of those days, you know the ones. I woke up feeling really meh. Couldn't tell you exactly why. Maybe it was the new moon, maybe it was being on my period, too much information potentially, but we're going to go with it. Maybe it was just a bit of that end of term itis creeping in, because despite having teenage kids and beyond, there's still a sense of I've been going and going and going for quite a number of weeks. So maybe it was that. But whatever it was, I had zero motivation to do anything business related, literally zero. In fact, if somebody could have said to me that day, just, close your business, I'd have probably said, yeah, all right. It was that sort of day. It was one of those days where you start questioning why you're even bothering. Like, what's the point of any of this? And I know you know what I'm feeling, or I know you know what I'm sharing here because I'm sure you've experienced that feeling at least once in your business journey. Now, this is the thing that I want to share with you. I didn't have any client commitments that day, so there was absolutely no need for me to be working, except, and I'll just quietly mention this, I was right in the middle of launch mode for my summer group program. So there was a really loud voice in my head telling me that I should be working, even though there was nothing actually on fire that really needed my attention right there, right then. Instead of forcing it, instead of sitting down and trying to push through, I decided to take the day off, like properly off. Not even like sit down at my desk and open my laptop, that sort of day off. I did a workout, I walked the dog, and then I did something I don't do nearly often enough. I sat on the bed in the middle of the day with my journal. I put on some meditative music in my ears and I just stopped. I read a bit more around my human design. I obviously journaled. I listened to the beautiful music. I closed my eyes and I just let myself sit there listening to that music for a little while. No agenda, no to-do list running in the background, no trying to think through things, just being in the music, in the stillness. Now, later that day, I had a call with the Freelance Mum Digital Hub. So Freelance Mum, if you don't know about Freelance Mum, it is a beautiful networking community aimed at self-employed mums. And it's a community that I show up for and in regularly. It's a beautiful, beautiful space to be. And I want to be really honest with you about something. I nearly didn't go to the call, but I decided, because I knew the people in the Freelance Mum community so well, I knew I could show up exactly as I was. Whatever mood I was in, whatever energy I had or didn't have, was allowed to come with me onto that call. And I knew I would not be judged. In fact, if anything, there would be a huge amount of support. So I turned up for the call. I showed up and I told them on that call, at the end of the call, we were all asked to share something. And I told them I was going to give myself, or I was giving myself permission to take the rest of the day off as well. So I'd taken the morning off by this stage and I decided I was taking the rest of the day off as well. I shared that out loud to other people, which, if you know me, you'll know is not always my natural instinct. Because, like so many of us, I am often much more comfortable pushing through than admitting I need to stop. Although, as this episode demonstrates, I am clearly getting much better at this. But here's where it gets interesting. Once that call had ended, something shifted. I decided to just check my emails and do some basic admin bits and pieces. Just, because I was sat at my desk at this point, I'd been on the Zoom call, so why not? Let's just, do a couple of bits and pieces. And the next thing I knew, I had done 3 hours of work. 3 hours. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, none of it was challenging, none of it was creative, none of it brilliantly felt like pressure, none of it felt like pressure. But every single bit of what I did was something that's actually going to help grow my business. It's stuff that had been on my mental to-do list for quite some time and was just lingering there with me thinking I really ought to do that. And I just happened to get in the groove of it. I don't really know how or why, but I did. It just happened easily, without the friction. And when I sat back and thought about this afterwards, I realized something really important, something that I think we all know deep down, but sometimes we don't recognize it or act on it accordingly. Because taking those few hours for myself and having some genuinely lovely conversations inside that digital hub, giving myself full permission to put things down for a while, all of those things added together gave me those 3 productive hours. It's almost like by telling myself I didn't have to do anything, I was able to do lots. It's a weird contradiction, I know, but that's what happened. It wasn't about pushing through. It wasn't about gritting my teeth and forcing it. The rest is what made the doing possible. The rest is what made the doing possible. And I'm sharing this because I think we are all so conditioned to believe that doing is the only way forward, that if you're not actively working, you must be falling behind. That rest is something you have to earn or justify or hide from your business. But what if it's the opposite? What if rest is part of the strategy? Here's what I want you to think about this week. If you find yourself in one of those meh moments, when your energy and your mood are a little bit low, when you can't really be bothered, and you will have one of those moments because we all do, let's be honest here, I don't want you to ask yourself, how can I push through this? I want you to ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped pushing, even for just an hour? Not the whole day necessarily, not a dramatic reset, but just 1 hour of permission. And in fact, that's exactly what we do every Tuesday evening inside the Clarity and Calm Journaling Circle. So if you're feeling called for rest and reflection, come and join us on a Tuesday evening. But here's what I've learned, not just from last week, but from years of watching this pattern play out in my own business and in the businesses of the women I work with. When you're overwhelmed, when your head is full of 15 different ideas and you don't know which one to act on, more effort is rarely the answer. More hours at the laptop, more forcing, more white knuckling your way through a low energy day. That's not what moves you forward. That's actually what keeps you stuck. Because what moves you forward is having so much clarity about the 2 or 3 things that actually matter, that even on a low energy day, even on a day when your mood is through the floor, you can do a tiny bit of the right thing and it counts. That's not about motivation. It's about having a system that doesn't rely on you feeling amazing every single day you want to work. Because let's be honest, we're not going to feel amazing every day. It's not realistic and it's not the goal. The goal is having a business and a way of working that holds you even when you don't feel like showing up in the way you think you're supposed to. So I'll leave you with the question I asked myself and the one I asked my email list as well. What does permission to rest look like for you right now? I would genuinely love to know. Come and find me. You know where I am. All my links are down there in the show notes. And tell me. Or better yet, as I touched on earlier, bring it to the Clarity and Calm Journaling Circle. It's exactly the kind of thing we sit within there. Space to actually hear yourself think instead of just reacting to the next best. Instead of just reacting to the next thing on your list. Put my teeth in. So, yeah, come and join us. I would love to see you there. That's it from me this week. If this episode has hit something in you, if it's resonated with you, landed with you, whatever language you might want to use, I would love it if you shared it with another business owner who needs the permission to stop pushing for just a minute. And if you're in a season of your business where everything feels busy and nothing feels like it's moving, that's exactly what my program Success Simplified is built for. It's not about hustle. It's about getting clear on the few things that matters and working out a way of working that fits the life you want to live, the life you're actually living, the business you actually want to build. So if that sounds like it might be of interest to you, drop me an email or check out the link in the show notes and you can find out more information through that route. Thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you again very, very soon.